Okay, you guys. Hi. This is Jennifer Felix. One of my prescribers wanted me to talk about my father. Now, I have did videos of my father, and I did videos on my father before. Not in depth videos, um, but I did videos on him. And the videos that I did, hold on, you guys. I wrote some stuff down. Um okay. I had to write some stuff down, you guys, but there's a thing in life, okay? Now, um some people call it, and I call it, the wheel of karma, okay? Um that's when we have to come in each time and finish our karma, right? Which I really didn't understand the wheel of karma like I do now. Okay, and I'm gonna explain the wheel of karma. In life, we have, it's called a book of life. Okay, um, and our book of life is how we treated others. Okay, what we did to others, right? But we're not seeing what we did to others through our eyes. We're seeing the things we did to others through their eyes, right? So just imagine if you could see the things you've done to people throughout your life through their eyes, right? You wouldn't do those things, right? Because you don't want that karma, right? And I did videos on this before. Um, Hold on. And there's a reason why I want to touch on this before I go into my father. My father's name was Felix. I'm going to acknowledge my dad. I called him Poppy. Okay. Um, and I did. This is hard for me to do, you guys, but I'm going to do this. It's not hard. Um, the grieving process, there's different stages of grieving. And the thing is, we were always taught to fear death. Okay. And that's the thing where we have to learn not to fear death. Okay. Because I don't fear death anymore. And that was because of my father. Okay. My father was always teaching me, just like my mother was always teaching me through life. Um, I say they were the teacher and I was a student. Okay. Now, I want to say this because this is very important. Um, Hold on. I feel like religion teaches us to fear death. Okay. It's crazy, but we're not supposed to fear death, you guys. Okay. We're supposed to embrace death. Okay. And I'm going to explain why. I wrote some things down. I actually did a reading about like karma, um different kind of karma, like childhood karma, I'm trying to find it. Um and becoming self-aware of your thoughts and your okay, I did a video on this, you guys. Okay. Needing to be self-aware, to examine your thoughts and your perspectives, okay, of life. Okay. Because I feel like we're taught in the religious um in religion to fear death, and we're not supposed to fear death. Okay, we're supposed to celebrate death. Okay, this may sound crazy, but it's not. um okay, I talked about ancestry sin, generational sin, ancestry fault, and inherit the judgment for the sins of your ancestors, right? Well, that's the will karma. Okay, dealing with all these issues in the karma that you put out into the universe. Okay, now like I said, my father was very spiritual. Okay, he's always been spiritual. I have things my father wrote down, and I want to, when I get to a point, I want to do a book and put these quotes and these sayings in the book. um Eventually. Okay, I'm going to get there. But my father wanted to get off of this wheel of karma, okay, because he kept coming back in reincarnating. Okay, so he wanted to get off this wheel of karma so he can ascend to the heavenly realm where God is, where he wouldn't have to come back, or the divine source, whoever you want to call him. But religion teaches us a lot about fearing, okay, death. And also, I realized a lot. I learned a lot, okay? Like I said, I was a student. And I've always been in the healthcare field. I've also been in working for in the healthcare field, taking care of others all my life. I've also just to give you a little bit background on myself, and I also worked in the foster system. Okay, so that's on me. That's my little bit, but my background. But my father's background, he was born on an island. Okay, he was born on an island as a child in this small town. It was in the country part of the island, and my dad had a speech impediment. Okay, I had the speech impediment. My children had the speech impediment, but it wasn't like my father's speech impediment, where he stuttered when he spoke. Okay, when he was a child, he stuttered when he spoke, and when he got older, he learned how to speak clear. Okay, um, I want to say I welcome you guys into my space. Um, and I thank you guys for, liking my channel and subscribing to my channel and listening to the things I'm speaking to you guys. Okay. Like I said, there's a book of life, and when you cross over, you are shown everything you've done in the eyes of the people that you hurt, right? You're not seeing, you're seeing it with your eyes, but they're showing you through the eyes of the people that you hurt. Okay. um and life is a school. Okay, we're always learning in life. That's why I said you're always learning. Now, like I said, when I was in the healthcare field, you guys, um I seen death. Okay. I remember this one case that I had, and the lady, I'm going to go back to my father, but I'm going to explain this to you guys. So I've been in the healthcare field for a very long time, okay? And there was this one lady, right? And I'm not going to say her name. She has crossed over. And I remember, because I have so many stories, you guys. This is why I want to write a book. But I remember this lady, she had an aneurysm at her job, and it left her paralyzed, right? And this lady left an imprint in my life too, okay? And she was getting ready to go. And a lot of mediums and psychics say they don't see death on people. I don't believe that's true. I believe some can see death on people and some cannot. So I knew this lady was close to the end of her life. Okay. She had the death rattle. And I remember I was working the overnight shift, and like I'm literally like almost shaking while I'm doing this, you guys. And I don't shake. Okay. It's my nerves. My anxiety is like high right now because I'm talking about my father, Felix. Um, and I know he's here around me all the time. But anyways, so I just knew that she was gonna die at night on my shift, right? I kept hearing her. It's like we call it the death rattle. It's like, and also like you're gasping for air, but you just can't um catch your breath. And all night she was doing this, okay, all night. So before I left, I remember praying over this lady, okay? She has crossed over. I prayed over her, okay, because I thought she was going to pass during the night, right? But what happened was, wow, I want to cry. My dad's here. You guys, this is hard for me. Just give me a minute. Okay. Just give me Okay. So I prayed over her, and she died 4 o'clock that afternoon with a new staff. But I knew she was going to go. Okay. So some psychics and mediums say they cannot um, see death on people. Okay. Um, but I believe you can see death on people. Um, so my father, Felix, was diagnosed. I had to write notes, you guys. Sorry. um, whew. He was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer in October. Okay, he was diagnosed in October of pancreatic cancer. So, I get the phone call. But before this, let's go back a little bit. Um, he kept complaining about his stomach. So he had his gallbladder removed. He's seen different doctors. And well, my father's here, you guys. And so I got the phone call in October, and my dad is a manly man, right? He's always been a manly man. He loved to fish. Um, he loved the outdoors. He loved to garden. Um, he loved to fix things. Um, he was very wise, very spiritual, like I said. Um, and he was also taught to fear death. But towards the end, he understood that death was not supposed to be feared. Is what they teach us. A lot of things they teach us is illusion. Okay, what they want to program us to make us think these things. Okay, but they're not true. Okay, you can create your own reality. Okay, I may sound crazy, but I'm not crazy. Okay, so he called me, and I can hear in his voice My dad was always strong-willed, but I can hear the fear in his voice. So um, I remember talking to my youngest daughter, because I have two grown kids, and then I have a younger daughter who's getting ready to graduate. And so I talked to her, I talked to my mother, and I said, I have to go take care of my father. And I talked to my daughter about it, and she was like, okay. So I came and I to the state that my father was in, because I was living in a different state at the time. And I could hear the fear. He didn't want to say it, but I felt it through the phone. And I made that decision. It was the best decision I ever made in my life. So they told him he had 3 to 6 months to live, right? So I wanted to make sure I was there for his first chemo treatment. His first chemo treatment was on Halloween Day, you guys, and he almost flatlined. His They were supposed to put a port in him the next day, so all his vitals just dropped, and I thought he was going to exit that day. Okay, but a lot of times too, people okay people think this too, that you can exit when you're ready to exit, and you can come in when you're ready to come in, and you can pick your parents, and roles can reverse in past lives, because in past lives, one of my children was my mother in my past life. Okay, yes. And my son was also in my past life, but he played another role in my life, in my past life. So that can happen too. Okay. So, anyways, my father knew that he was needed. Okay. I believe um he felt like he was needed, and he was here still. He still wanted to hold on to teach us, um me and my sister. Okay. He felt like he wasn't done with teaching us. Okay. um but it's how did I react to it that really mattered, right? How do we react to death? We fear it, right? Because we don't know. But my father, in the beginning, feared it, but at the end, he did not fear death. Okay. Okay. And I'm going to explain why. Because he was so spiritually in tune. Not just spiritually in tune. Um, he was on a higher frequency and a higher vibration. Okay. And he was paying his karma back. He was not really paying his karma back. He was dealing with all the karma, so he wouldn't come back in. Okay, so he can just ascend with to God, to the divine, to the highest realm, and never have to come back. Okay, but he had to deal with his karmas. This is why I say to people, you have to deal with your karma. If not, you will come back. Okay, you will come back. So you have to deal with your karma, and it's really hard to look back um at the things you've done in life through other people's eyes, because you're seeing it, but you're seeing it through the person you hurt's eyes. So he knew that there was karma he had to clear up before he could ascend. Okay. Sometimes I really believe like this, where we're at now, is hell. I really believe that. I'm really starting to believe that. Okay. A lot of things I was taught in the church, I'm really like, this was all illusion. A lot of this was illusion, you know what I mean? And programmed into us to fear death. Because in the islands, they celebrate death. Okay. But anyways, because he wanted to learn the lessons to return to God. Um, okay, I just wrote down so many things. So, like I said, I had to learn to always remember, how do I react to things, because it's very important how we react to the things. When you can control your reactions, you can control everything else. Okay, when you can control your reaction to things. Um, okay. So, and my dad always believed there was a plan for everything. I have papers, stickies, all kinds of stuff in my dad's handwriting, you guys, that he left behind for me and my sister. Okay. Um, and when my father died, he was ready to go, you guys. Um, and the reason why is because, so my dad was basically teaching, and also he was trying to get off that wheel of karma to reincarnate back in. He wanted to go straight to the divine source, okay? Not go to the light and then come back in. He wanted to go past that, okay? And a lot of people don't go past that. So that's what he was trying to do, okay? And that's what he has done. And now he is my spirit guide. Okay, he's my spirit guide. That picture that I have of him in the corner, that was my father. Now, when I first seen it, I felt calmness over me. Okay, and he came that night because he knew I was going through some things, and he wanted me to know that everything's going to be okay. And everything was okay. Okay. And my dad used to always say, you remind me of me. And now I understand what he meant by I remind him of him, because I have a lot of my father and my mother in me. My mother's very strong. Oh, she's very strong. So is my father. They're like the two strongest people I know, and I adore, I admire them, and they were my teachers in life. Okay, so I was learning. I'm 44, so I was learning through them my whole life. Okay. Yeah, so now I'm my children's teacher. So when they ascend, they don't have to reincarnate back in. So we all have to deal with our karma, so we don't have to come back in. Okay. Because I do believe in the will of karma, you guys. Um, so we tried, my dad used to make, this is the last bottle that I have of frankincense and rosemary. I actually put this on his body. He wants to be wrapped in white cotton linen, and he wanted me to put this rosemary and frankincense on his body. And this is the last bottle that I have that he made. We tried all kinds of natural stuff, and some people say you choose your sickness too. Some people say this. I hear this on the other side. You choose your sickness and your how you want to exit. This is what I hear. you know, but you can believe whatever you want to believe. Okay. I don't want to get in depth with that. I will do other videos on that. But we're here. Some, even when you say karma, some people are like, karma, well, how does a child, how can God or divine source, whatever you want to call him, let a child die or this or that, blase blase. But there is a will of life that we all have, and everything we put out, there's a book of life. Okay. And everybody you hurt during your life, you're going to see all that in front of you, and you're going to feel all their emotions that they were feeling. Yeah. Yeah, you guys. So, and sometimes, like I said, I believe we're in hell. I honestly believe that. Because people that, if you really want to come down here, who wants to come down here to sorrow, pain, and all this other stuff? Like, who wants to come down here to this? Not me. When I exit out of here, I don't want to come back. When my children, my grandchildren, I don't want them coming back here. Just like my dad was telling me before he crossed over, I ain't coming back. So I hope I see you on the other side. Exactly what he would say to me. He was an honest man, authentic man. He loved to laugh. He laughed all the time, you guys. He was a jokester. He always would make jokes. He volunteered in the community. I got a placard on his block, 2 placards on his block. Because he used to pick up the trash in the neighborhood. And I had to fight for one of those placards, but I fought. And I am going to go to Congress to pass a bill for pancreatic cancer in my father's name. So I have a lot of things that I want to do to honor my father, because he did a lot for other people. Humanity is a part of life. When you give, that's humanity. He gave to so many people. The homeless people, just cleaning up the community, that's given. Feeding the homeless, that's humanity. And we lack that now. There's no humanity. It's not on this dimension that I see. I see there is humanity, but there's very few, you guys. And my dad used to always say, test the spirit. Test the spirit of a person. Always said that. Test the spirit. He said 2 things. My father used to say, cleanse the karma, and he was also trying to find his true self. He never really found his true self until this lifetime that he ascended. This last time he really found out who his true self was. It took him all the times that he reincarnated in from this last time to clear his karma and find his true self. And that is what I'm doing now. I'm clearing my karma and finding my true self. Who I really am. What I really stand for. Even though you may know yourself, but really know yourself to the core. Okay? And he was raising his vibration and raising his frequency. And oh man, he left me so much stuff, you guys. I remember when I opened up the book that my father has, I was just sobbing, because some of them, the sayings and scriptures that he wrote, I read some of them, but some of them I didn't, because he gave his last will and testimony. And there was one that the floodgates of the tears were just pouring out of me. Okay? Because I was like, man, I thank God for me choosing my father and my father choosing me. And my mother that's still alive for choosing me, and me choosing her as my mother. Even my children, I'm glad that they chose me and I chose them. And my grandchildren. I'm blessed every day. But I want to, um, my father knew his exit date, you guys. When we tried all kinds of things, you guys, we tried, because, I did videos on the food and process of food and stuff. This is why I tell you guys it's very important to be careful what you're putting in your body, because a lot of things we're putting in our body, we should not be putting it in our body. And they're not going to say it, but because people are making money off of this stuff. So, and me and my dad had many conversations about this. We, it got to a point where, they were like doing, say, like for him to do chemo, radiation, and he got to the point where, you know, at the end of the day, he knew in the beginning that his exit date, he knew that his exit date was coming. He knew when he was going to exit. Okay. Um, but he was trying to finish what he had to finish. And also, um, finish his house for his wife. You know, see, why he was sick, he was thinking about others. That tells you what kind of man my father was. While he was sick, dying, he was thinking about me, my sister, and his wife. That's what kind of man my father was. So we tried all kinds of things, you guys. My dad was into gardening. We were all, I mean, we were raised on it. The gardening, growing vegetables, all that. We were raised on all that, you guys. Fishing, all that. We can do all that. Me and my sister. Because he taught us those things. Okay? Hunting, all that stuff. We could do all that stuff. Okay. He left me tools. 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 Tools to fix things. But this is one thing he wrote. For I am now ready to be offered, and the time of my departure is at hand. I have fought a good fight. I have finished my course. I have kept the faith. So that was one thing he wrote, which I have a whole bunch, you guys, a whole bunch. So much. Some of them I can read, some of them I don't even want to look at. I'm talking about pages and pages. And some of them I will put in my book, because the book I will dedicate it to my father. 333 on the clock. But let me read this again, because this is one of my favorite ones that he left me. He said, I'm acknowledging you, Dad, Poppy, Felix. For I am now ready to be offered, and the time of my departure is at hand. I have fought a good fight. I have finished my course. I have kept the faith. So my dad will no longer be coming back in. Okay? Because he got off of that wheel of karma. Like I said, he always said, remember how you respond to a situation. Always keep your faith. Faith grounded. Always, no matter what you go through, whatever's thrown at you, stay steadfast, stay grounded, keep your faith. Okay? And remember how you respond to things, and test the spirit of a person. That means test the soul of a person. Okay, you guys, this is Jennifer Felix. I'm leaving you guys with that. Yeah, this is the last bottle that I have, the frankincense rosemary. I will be making more, but this is the last one. Sometimes when I do the reads, I remember when I first started doing the reads, because I was like, am I supposed to be doing this? Like, because I ain't trying to come back here. I'm trying to get off that will karma. So, I would rub this on me before I would do a read. And that angel that I seen in the corner was my father, and my father is my spirit guide. So that's the story of my father, you guys. And he was diagnosed in October, and he died in August. He was only 56 years old. I think he was 56. I think he was 56. Yeah. But that's enough on that, you guys. All right, this is Jennifer Felix, you guys. I'm sending light and love. Light and love. That's a story for one of my prescribers that wanted to know about my father. Um, and healing is part of the process, and I'm at peace. I can celebrate him. And I don't fear death. I don't fear it, you guys. I don't fear it. I embrace it because I know one day, you know, I will cross over, and hopefully when I cross over, I'm off that wheel of karma, and I will, like he said to me, he hopes he sees me on the other side. And he didn't mean the other side of coming back and reincarnating and we're both in each other's life again. He meant to the highest realms, the godly realms, the divinely realms that you don't come back in. All right. This is Jennifer Felix. I'm sending light and love. Light and love.